unfortunately, as humans, we do go through a lot of things, and people do hurt us. And sometimes it's not like you're just going to make the decision to be, I'm just going to be merciful to this person who caused me immense pain. Sometimes you do have to like work on that. And I just want to like mention that, you know, just praying to God to be like, God, help me to be merciful to someone. Like, you know what they did to me, and help me to be merciful to them. And maybe that'll take a week, an hour, maybe that'll take 20 years.
It might happen in the next life.
Right.
You could be like, God, at the end of all things,
right,
when all is said and done, when the new heavens and new earth have come, then I want you to help me, you know, forgive this person. I don't think I can do it now, but I know that you can help me do that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Trinity Talks. My name is Kyla.
I'm Justin.
And we are here to continue our conversation about the Beatitudes, which is the section that opens Jesus's Sermon on the Mount, where he talks about blessings and what it means to be blessed and who are the kind of people that are blessed. And today we are talking about the Beatitude where Jesus says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." And that sounds very nice. It doesn't feel true.
Kyla, why does it not feel true to you?
Well, I mean, it feels true maybe in like a grand sense, but very specifically, like in the world. If I am a merciful person, I am not always shown mercy by other people. Yes, you get
walked over by other people. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's true. It's weird in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus does say things like you should be willing to get walked over by other people.
Yes.
Right. So that is a consequence of trying to live this way. You know, if someone strikes you on the cheek, turn the cheek, go the extra mile, all that stuff.
Yes.
But in this case, I think it's who is the one who's going to show you mercy is the key question.
Yes, that's fair. Maybe we're not talking about my random neighbor who hates me.
No, I mean, we're in church, so we all know the answers. Jesus. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so, but the word mercy seems to be pretty central to this phrase.
Yes.
It shows up a couple of times at least. So what do we mean by the word mercy?
Well, what do you think it means? Sorry, there's supposed to be more than the two of us now, so now I want to make sure that we're not just interviewing me.
Right, this is fair.
Because you've got good stuff, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think...
Oh, here she is.
Yes, welcome, Melissa. Please come on in and have a seat.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No, church...
We're live right now.
We're live right now. Church ended early today because there was no communion. So it's all right. I didn't tell you to show up early. And now we are extending mercy to you. Maybe?
Yeah.
Is that mercy?
Yeah, we're extending mercy, which I'm going to need later because I'm going to probably hit your car in the parking lot later. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so
that too.
Mercy. We were just talking about what that is. Yes.
Mercy, not just something that Uncle Jesse says from Full House and Elvis.
Okay, great.
Mercy.
Yes, so welcome, Melissa.
Thank you so much. And thank you for extending your mercy to me today. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, so the question we were just looking at, what is mercy? And I think, so I'm maybe going to get this wrong, but the childhood VeggieTales version of me makes this distinction between mercy and grace, where grace is getting a thing that you don't deserve, and mercy is not getting a thing that you do deserve.
Yeah, where that thing that you deserve is bad.
Yes, where the thing that you deserve is bad. Yes.
Yeah, my boss doesn't show me mercy when they don't pay me.
Right, yes, no, no, I deserve some sort of a punishment, but I don't get it, and therefore this is mercy.
Yeah.
That is what VeggieTales has taught me, folks. Now, does this hold up in the real world? Is that, like Melissa, when you think of mercy, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of mercy, I do think about God first. However, I agree that in the real world, like, it can be kind of hard to not only extend that mercy, but to also receive that mercy because we have responsibilities. If at work I mess up, usually my manager will not give me mercy. She will, address me the way that in a workplace setting that I should be addressed. Even though sometimes it would be nice to have that mercy, but yeah.
I mean, the thing that makes mercy difficult in the real world, quote unquote, is that we have a whole system built on justice.
Right.
Right? The whole system where if we just sort of let people off, then sort of the guardrails for our society start falling away and we could have chaos, right? So it's like a really scary thing to give mercy, right? You're putting yourself, I mean, if we're talking about on a societal level, you're putting society at risk.
Right.
By showing lots of mercy.
Mercy is risky.
It's super risky, right? Because who knows? People could abuse it. Right. Right? People would be like, well, I guess if mercy is going to be shown, then I can just commit crimes and do what I want and trust that people are going to be nice. So it's a nerve-wracking sort of thing. But what Jesus is talking about in the Beatitudes is this kind of upside-down kingdom idea, right? It's not supposed to work now.
Right.
It's the way God's kingdom works.
Right.
And he's asking his followers to live in the way that kingdom will be, or that kingdom is. So you're going to have to live countercultural. You're going to make yourself vulnerable as a Christian by showing mercy to people. But that's what Jesus did. Right. Right. Jesus was nailed to a cross. And he's saying, forgive them. For they don't know what they're doing. Right. He puts himself in the most vulnerable position to show mercy. And the prize for that attitude is God shows you mercy. Right. At the end, which again, like you said, from VeggieTales, we don't deserve.
Yes. I mean, so one of the things that we said initially at the beginning is like, blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Doesn't feel true if we just look at it in terms of like human relationships. Like if I'm a merciful person, that doesn't guarantee that other people will be showing me mercy.
Right. And I think that's a reason why it's really hard to show mercy as well, because even if we show mercy to other people, it's not guaranteed that they will show mercy back to us. However, I feel that as Christians, we have to constantly look to Jesus because, the idea is that if God gave us mercy, then we should be merciful to other people as well. And then we think about, well, if God gave me the same amount of mercy that I gave to other people, well, then I'm not receiving a lot of mercy, because then I don't actually give a lot of mercy to people. Right. And it's kind of really scary to think that. So I guess if we put it up to that standard, it's like, actually, we should constantly be giving as much mercy as we can, because we never want that, like, to end for us from God. Right. And maybe it's through us that other people can experience mercy and that might be merciful to others as well. But it's definitely hard, and just like a lot of the Beatitudes, it requires a lot of surrendering to God, a lot of sacrifice as well.
Totally.
I think that's really important, because what you're because God is, I hate this phrase, but God is also a God of justice, right? So it's not like God's ignoring injustices and oppression and persecution. Totally. There's lots of that in the Bible. But what you're doing by extending mercy to others is that you're trusting God with the justice. Right. Right. And you're not putting it upon yourself to exact these kinds of punishments for yourself. You're saying, I'm a Christian. I know this world is God's. He will take care of it. And therefore, I don't need to demand the justice that I normally would if I didn't trust in God to take care of that for me.
Yeah. And then that makes me think about, like, when we're in a position where we are choosing the kind of people that we want to be merciful to and the kind of people that we don't want to be merciful to, we're like putting ourselves in this position of like judgment, where we're like, this type of person or this particular person is worthy of mercy and this person is not worthy of mercy. Yep. But Jesus says, no, just extend mercy to everyone and like I'll sort it out later.
Right? Come out in the wash. Yeah.
yes, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great, so there's a theologian who I like called Karl Bart. He's this guy from Switzerland from the 20th century. But he, one of the things he says is that Jesus, or God, takes on the role of judge, not just to absolve us of our sins, but also to sort of let us off the hook for having to judge others ourselves. Right. Yeah. Right. Like we go around in the world and we feel like we need to weigh in on everything and say, this person good, this person bad. Right. We're making judgments about people. And Bart says, actually, Jesus lets us off the hook of that responsibility. Right. And that's what frees us to love people indiscriminately. Right.
And like, lets us off the hook feels like a nice way of saying that. Whereas like, I would say it as like, God says, like, just don't do it. Just like, don't judge the people.
Yeah.
It's like, like lets us off the hook, feels like, I should feel like a weight about this. But sometimes we do feel a weight about it.
Well, because we want to take it back.
Yeah.
Like as with all things with Christianity, when giving up sin feels like we're giving up something.
Yes.
When really we're being freed from something.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
So it feels hard to be like, I should be able to look at someone and say a judgment about them, right?
Yes.
Someone's wronged me. I should be like, you are bad.
Right.
And Jesus is like, no, I'll do that.
Right.
Now you can just love them.
Right.
And I think it's also the idea that if we as humans judge other humans, it's like, I feel like we're just going, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, you sounded wise when you said that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I feel that we're going to get it wrong. It's like, how do you know if we're making the right judgment? That's something that I feel like if you were a judge in the judicial system, we already know that there's so many times where judges, they get it wrong, right? And I think it does help to know that, like, that's not our job. That's not the task that God has given us. Like, the task that God has given us is actually just to love people, which it might not feel easier, but listening to Justin speak, actually loving other people is easier than maybe putting judgment on other people. Because what if you do get it wrong, right? And there's so many people affected by it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't there that great line in Scripture? I can't remember where it is. Where it says Jesus entrusted himself to the one who judges justly.
Okay.
Right? Like Jesus lived his life allowing God to be the judge of everything.
Right.
Right? He's not out there trying to get people's praise and adoration.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to give my whole life to God. He'll be the judge of my life.
Right.
Right? And that freed him in some ways to do radical stuff, like hang out with prostitutes and tax collectors and all that stuff and not worry what people were saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So then I feel like we've sort of said, okay, so being merciful means not judging. It means extending love. But I'm wondering then what the sort of positive side of it, what it does look like. And so I have this cool book that we briefly mentioned last week by a guy called Dietrich Bonhoeffer called The Cost of Discipleship. And so in this book, he does a lot of things, but one of the things that he does is breaks down the Sermon on the Mount. And when he talks about the people who are merciful, this is what Mr. Bonhoeffer has to say. The merciful have an irresistible love for the downtrodden, the sick, the wretched, the wronged, the outcast, and all who are tortured with anxiety. They go out and seek all who are enmeshed in the toils of sin and guilt. No distress is too great, no sin too appalling for their pity. Right? So good.
Just doing the white person version of amen.
So this, according to Bonhoeffer, is what the merciful do. They go out, they have an irresistible love. Like, let's just talk about that for a second. An irresistible love. Like, what does that mean?
Jesus shaped.
Okay. Yeah.
You're being compelled by Jesus, right, to do these things. I also think it's like this kind of freely given love to people, right? The downtrodden and the oppressed. We often think of them as, these poor victims and stuff like that.
Sure.
But there's all sorts of reasons people use for not being merciful to people. They're just going to spend this money on drugs, or they're just going to do this, or they need to go get a job. Really, is me buying them a McDonald's breakfast really going to change that much in their lives? Yeah. Jesus is like, don't worry about that. Your job is to love these people indiscriminately. Yeah. Right.
I also think that when you show mercy, like even just once, that can have such a huge positive impact in a person's life. If you look at a young person who maybe they messed up, maybe they did something they shouldn't have done, right? And if you approach them with punishment and judgment and anger, what message are you sending them? So they're going to grow up their whole life being like, well, this is how the world works. We punish, we judge. And it's kind of like, in a way, you're confirming like labeling theory. Like, I'm a bad person. I deserve to be judged. Well, then I'm just going to continue living like this, right? However, if you show a young person or just anyone like mercy, especially that child or teenager, they're going to learn, like, actually, there's another way to live life where I don't have to think the world is so cold and hardened. It can be, but I can make the choice to be merciful.
Right.
That person was merciful to me. So I'm going to be merciful to someone else. And I'm just going to do good because I'm not, you know, this bad person. I'm someone who can receive good things as well. And I think that is a better way to live life in a way. I know a lot of people, they won't agree with that. I think sometimes you see people do things on the news, young people, you know, like they deserve to be punished, they deserve to be locked away.
Right.
However, it's like, well, then what kind of world are we kind of setting up? Not to say that we shouldn't have justice, but more so that I think there needs to be a lot more mercy, especially towards people who are, like the book said, you know, if they have a lot of anxiety, a lot of insecurities, a lot of things happening, and maybe that can be young people or just anyone, really.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels really complicated when we try to bring it to this like macro, like societal level.
Yeah.
Right? To try and say, okay, our justice system should be a system of mercy. I don't really want to jump in that.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that that's necessarily what Jesus had in mind. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is going to be the polity of the new kingdom.
Yes.
Right? But we're not there yet.
Yes.
Right? So a lot of these rules are ways of dealing with the fact that we're
not
still in
there.
a sinful world.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Yeah. Right. But I guess my point was we don't need to make a society built on mercy in order to like follow this command as followers of Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. Like in our personal relationships, we can be merciful people even while living in a society that's not.
Yeah. I mean, you also need to be merciful to, I don't know, victims of oppression, right?
Yeah,
you don't put them in a position to be constantly abused by others. I mean, the thing is, mercy is not pretending that a wrong hasn't happened.
Right.
Or excusing it.
Right.
Right. So it's not like you're saying, I'm being merciful to you by saying, it doesn't really matter that you punched me in the face or something like that. It does matter.
Sure.
Right. And even the very fact of me forgiving you is an acknowledgement that you have wronged me.
Right.
Even though I'm not sort of taking the demands of punishment.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear on that too. Right. So like if you've been victimized or you're oppressed or persecuted in some way, it's not like Jesus is saying, just pretend like that never happened. And now it's like on you to, no, you're saying this was wrong.
Yeah.
This was wrong. I mean, in the same way that God says, you're a sinner.
Right.
Right. It's not like you're great. You're a sinner. I'm dying for you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm showing mercy to you because you need mercy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So then I feel like that's a really important angle to sort of tease out here is like this connection between mercy and forgiveness and like letting something go or like how justice like fits into all of that. Because mercy, obviously we are called to mercy. We are like, God is a merciful God. God is also a just God, as we said.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it feels like forgiveness is sort of the name of the game. Like that's just like part and parcel of following the way of Jesus. That doesn't make it easy, obviously. No. And
no, I mean, look at the name of this book.
The cost.
It's the cost of discipleship, right?
Yeah. And I think that forgiveness. What does forgiveness look like if it doesn't look like letting it go, right? How do we both name this is wrong?
Yeah.
And offer forgiveness, right? Like there's a whole boundary setting that happens in there.
Well, you're going to teach us about forgiveness in your sermon on the Lord's Prayer in a couple weeks. But I mean, I don't think forgiveness or showing mercy means that you, pretend that there hasn't been a rupture in relationship.
Yeah.
Right? This is why Christians forgive or show mercy in faith.
Right.
That it's God who will bring reconciliation.
Right.
There's a really good book about this that a friend of mine wrote called A Shared Mercy.
Okay.
That talks about forbearance as a key category.
Okay.
You're kind of waiting expectantly in hope.
Okay.
Right. So that means like if I forgive someone, let's say someone seriously wronged me, like in an illegal way, It doesn't mean I'm forgiving you and now we can be friends again and you're in my
Right.
life and everything's the way it was. No, sometimes you have to create boundaries and distance.
Yeah.
But you're forgiving them in the hopes that God will bring about a reconciliation that you can't bring about on your own.
Yeah.
I feel like that's interesting because when I think about forgiveness, I understand like sometimes we have to be very careful to like not, I guess, ignore the accountability that that person should take. But then I wonder, like, if you're still holding on to something, is that still forgiveness? Because I've always looked at forgiveness as not something you do for someone else. You do it for yourself kind of thing. Because if you're just holding on to that anger all the time and it's like, just gotta be a point where you're kind of just like hurting yourself now. So I kind of think of forgiveness as like you have to do the work of kind of like setting yourself free as well. And then I guess sometimes like I think about, obviously, you know, people, they do things that aren't great to us. They do things that are really, really terrible to other people. And I can say right now that it would be really, really hard for me to offer forgiveness to someone if they did something super terrible to me. But does Jesus have limits on his forgiveness? I kind of think about that, you know, because then as Christians, we can ask, well, how many more times am I going to mess up before Jesus is like, actually, I'm setting the boundary and you keep messing up and I'm not going to forgive you anymore. That's like a nightmare to me, right? And I think Jesus is asking for a tall order, but it's not something he didn't do. He forgave people, right? The people, like, when they put him on the cross and he was suffering one of the worst deaths that anyone could ever suffer, he still said, Father, forgive them. And I'm like, I don't think I would have had the strength to do that. But then I wonder if maybe through Jesus, that is something we have, because you have stories of people who, you know, their family member was killed. And then in court, they say, I ask you to forgive the person who killed my loved one. How much faith does that take, right? How much of, like,
supernatural faith, I would say.
Exactly. But you're crossing so many boundaries. So I guess it's just, I mean,
look what Jesus said right after, Father, forgive them, right? He says, but God, into your hands I commit my spirit, right? So he's saying, I'm entrusting myself to you. I'm entrusting the execution of justice to you. And so I can forgive these people, right? And because that forgiveness, I mean, this is the whole point of this, Father, forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us, right? God has extended this mercy to us, so now we can forgive others. Right. And there's also the sort of the parable that Jesus tells about the guy who owed bajillions of dollars and had it forgiven, but then, you know, called someone out on their $50 debt or something. Right?
Yeah, I was thinking about that parable too, like when we were talking earlier. Yeah, so there's the story of a dude who owes his master, like, let's say $1 million, a bunch of money. And his master forgives him. And then he goes out and gets mad at somebody else who owes him like $10. And Jesus's whole point of this is like, don't be like this dude. Right? Like, you have received so much mercy. Therefore, go and show it to other people.
I forgave you your debt so you could go and forgive other people's debts. You know.
And I think it's important to point out at this sort of intersection that, like, we don't do that alone.
No.
Right? Like, God forgave us our debts, enabling us to forgive other people's debts. It's so, like, to just try and go out and do it in my own strength is maybe impossible.
It definitely is impossible.
Right? But to do it with the spirit of dependence on God, with this spirit of, just trusting and praying and saying, God, help me forgive. Right? Like, that's what makes it possible.
I think it's also important to kind of look at, like, you know, why you're forgiving someone. Because if you're forgiving someone because you're just like, well, if I forgive this person, then God will forgive me, I guess. Or the idea of like, oh, if I forgive this person, then God's going to make sure that something terrible happens to them, but then it's not out of my hands. Or I'm going to randomly, a Lamborghini is going to be in my front yard because I forgave this person. I guess it's kind of like sometimes you're going to have to show mercy and you're not going to receive anything back. Because, I mean, God gives us mercy, but it's not like we're giving him, you know, something that he doesn't already have, right? So I think it's just that you just have to be so selfless and so dependent on God to be in that space. And he does ask us of that, right?
Yeah. Totally.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So Jesus says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." So we've talked about this idea of mercy. This is how it connects to forgiveness, and a bit about how it connects to justice, I think. So why, like, what is it about mercy that we think makes it one of the sort of primary principles of the kingdom of God? Like, why mercy? Why not something else?
I guess as the first thing I think of is that, Jesus says mercy, and that's specifically one of the Beatitudes because, well, why did Jesus come to the earth, right? To show mercy, to give us a way so that we can be reconciled to the Father. Because I think just every single person right now who has lived and will live needs mercy from God. And I guess it just, when you put it in that context, it's like, why wouldn't Jesus mention that? Because that's the thing that we need, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about everybody in the kingdom of heaven, everybody in the church has been shown mercy by God and has needed mercy from God.
Yep.
Right? So it's the currency of the kingdom, right? To show mercy. It's very Jesus-centric, right? This is the way Jesus did stuff. He's the king of this thing.
Yeah.
We should do it too.
Yeah.
It's the expectations of citizenship in the kingdom of heaven.
And it's interesting, like in Matthew's gospel in particular, but probably in all of them, the word mercy is like used pretty frequently. And it's often used in the context of like somebody asking Jesus for something, usually like physical healing. Like there's a dude on the side of the road who's like begging for money, and then Jesus walks by and he's like, "Jesus, have mercy on me." And I guess what that reminds me is that, and then Jesus has this interaction and like heals him, right? And so that sort of shows me like mercy has this spiritual, emotional component to it, but it also has a very practical, tangible component. Like this man is not the same from that moment on. Like so in this particular case, I think he's healed from blindness and is able to like go out and like live his life. But like in all kinds of cases, there's something concrete that like happens as an expression of mercy.
I think that's interesting. I don't think we touched upon it yet, but it's like the fact that like, yes, like mercy is given to us by God and we should give that mercy to other people, but people do have to kind of like ask for that mercy, just as we go to God and we ask for his mercy as well. We ask for his forgiveness. So it's kind of like in a way, just something that is kind of like concrete and tangible. It's just if someone's coming to you and they're saying like, "I'm really sorry," no matter how hard it is, that is that opportunity for us to show that mercy, because now we have that like tangible like signal that's like, okay, well, this is that opportunity now. Right.
Yeah.
I wonder like if that person, he never went to Jesus and was like, "Jesus, have mercy on me," right? If he was just like, "Jesus will come to me, it's fine, he knows I'm here," right? And it's like, Jesus is like, there's many people that are here, I'm sure. So, I mean, maybe Jesus still would have healed him, but I think it's just like the fact that he took that step to be like, "Jesus, heal me."
Yeah, it's like the offensiveness of offering forgiveness to someone without specifying what they did. Right. Like if I was having a fight with my spouse or something like that, and I just all of a sudden said, "I forgive you."
Right.
That's not going to end well for me, right? Because we haven't established what the breakdown in the relationship was. So there is a part where like the person needs to recognize their need also. But even if not, I think Jesus he says, "Forgive them. They don't know what they're doing."
Right.
But that's not going to bring the reconciliation without their also acknowledgement of, "I receive that from you, Jesus," as well.
Yeah, totally.
So this is for anyone who says being a Christian's easy. It's not. It's not easy being a Christian, but it's worth it and it's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus did say, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light," but
That's true. That's,
Only if you let him do all the stuff, which is hard.
yeah.
Yes.
Another oxymoron.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. It's all very easy if we can let go. But we cannot let go. And therefore,
It's
Yeah.
hard.
we're in this constant
Yeah.
push and pull.
I know.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. But we have this. No, never mind. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking about the sermon from today that we're not talking about. So.
We could talk about it.
No.
Yeah. So then mercy, yeah, it's something that people ask us for, but even when they don't ask us for it, we can extend it. It just leads to a different kind of relationship
Yeah.
in that case.
Yeah.
So practically,
Yeah.
what does it look like to extend mercy to someone? Like the process of forgiveness, which is, I think, a bit different than mercy, but it's included in the concept of mercy.
Yeah.
Like the practice of forgiveness has always felt a little bit beyond grasp for me, because it's like, it's a thing that happens in my words that may or may not happen in my actions. Right? And I think mercy can be the same way. I can say, oh, Melissa, I'm being merciful towards you, but then actually, like, I'm just going to stay over here and secretly still hate you a little bit or something. I don't know. I don't hate you.
Right.
I'm glad we clarified.
I hate one of you, but I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Wow.
No, just kidding.
Good. I babysat your gecko.
I know. Not my gecko. My son's gecko. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Shout out Thube. Sorry, my son's gecko.
Yeah. So mercy, what does it look like?
Sorry. You can-
No, go ahead.
I guess it's just, I feel like the way that we practically extend mercy looks different depending on the person. If
Sure.
it's like you're this like 3-year-old child who dropped your phone by accident and now the screen shattered, like you're gonna be really pissed off, right?
Yes.
But it's like, well, what can you do to this 3-year-old child? They don't know, they messed up, but
So you gave your phone to a 3-year-old. So.
yeah, so maybe that's the natural consequences of your actions. But in that case, you are just like, okay, like you extend that mercy versus like if it's an older person in your family, right? Your parent or someone who maybe physically abused you, right? How do you go through the process of showing forgiveness and mercy to that person? I guess, I don't know. It's just I had nothing to add. That's all I had to say.
It looks different in each relationship.
Yeah. But also there's the, like, to get back to your concrete stuff, I mean, historically, acts of mercy, at least in the church, is also giving to the poor.
Right.
Looking at someone, there's that great line where Jesus, when Jesus is talking to the rich young man, and it says Jesus looked at him and loved him.
Yeah.
Right? You're supposed to see your fellow human being and love them, have mercy
Yeah.
on them. Don't be like, you made your bed, now lie in it.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, you made some bad choices. Maybe you got hooked on smack or you lost
Right.
your job or whatever, but you don't deserve to be living on the street.
Right.
You know, I'm going to show mercy. I'm going to help you. All that kind of stuff. Where you could theoretically just be on your merry way and ignore that
Right.
stuff. But
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
is saying, I didn't do that, so you should do the same.
Right. Yeah.
And we really made our bed as sinners, right? We rebelled against the holy God who created us.
Yeah.
I mean, we deserved all of whatever we got for that. And God's like, no, I'm going to extend mercy to you guys. I'm sending you my son.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So it goes back to that Bonhoeffer line, that irresistible love,
Yeah.
right? Mercy just is love.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, it's at the risk of being the most stereotypical 21st century Christian preacher. It's like in The Matrix, you know, when Neo sees all the dots and stuff.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Well, I can't remember, but but it's like we need to have like Neo lenses to see people as people who are beloved by God,
Right.
whom God is longing to be reconciled with, no matter the evils they do,
Yep.
either to us or to others.
Yep.
That is supernaturally difficult, right?
Yep.
I mean, that is really, really hard to do. But again, this is something that Jesus gives to us as a gift. He helps us to see people that way, where everything inside of us is saying, dehumanize that person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Jesus rehumanizes them.
So I guess it's kind of like you have to change your whole, like, the whole way that you kind of, like, present yourself in the world and the whole way that you carry yourself and talk to people. And I think it does require maybe a changing of looking at different, social issues and looking at different things in the world. There's, for example, homelessness, the unhoused population. There's people, like we said, he'll say, why should we give them affordable housing? Why should we do this? Why should we do that?
Yeah.
Right? And because they're like, it doesn't benefit me. I worked so hard to get here. And then mercy is having to be like, well, actually, even if that person, did whatever and that's why they're there, they still deserve to have a shelter. They still deserve to have food and water.
Or maybe they don't deserve it, but we're obligated to give it to them as Christ followers.
Yeah.
Like the answer to any of the whys, why should I help this person? Why should we do this good thing? Whatever. The answer is always because they are a person loved by God.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah. And I've already received infinite blessings from God. Right. So for me to withhold that from someone else contradicts my own situation.
Yeah, totally. And I think, especially when we then put this back in in like a social context, those who are merciful, who sort of have this Christ-like posture, are not always going to be well received by the world. As we keep hinting towards the end of these Beatitudes where it's, blessed are those who are persecuted. Right? And I think, so there's another Bonhoeffer quote that I want to read for you.
Keep him coming.
Because he's great. So he talks about, showing mercy to all of these kinds of people. And he says, the merciful are glad to incur reproach. So they're glad that people are like hating on them.
For this reason.
For they know that they are blessed.
Yeah.
Blessed are the merciful, for they have the merciful for their Lord.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah, this guy.
I like that a lot.
Blessed are the merciful because God is merciful.
Yeah.
God is the one showing the mercy. So like, even if the people out in the world are like, what are you doing? Or even if the people out in the world are like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not following them.
It's the other side of it. I mean, it's not just, when you see people, you see them as beloved by God.
Yeah.
You're also kind of doing it for God's sake too. Like I'm loving others. I'm showing mercy to them to glorify the God who's already blessed me with mercy.
Yeah.
Right. It's doing things unto God as well as to others.
Yeah.
I also feel like, now that like we're Christians, kind of like what Britt said last week about how now we can wear those glasses and we kind of see things. And
that's better. Yeah.
Now we like operate, in the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we don't show mercy, it's like the audacity that you have to not show mercy when God is showing you so much mercy right now. It's like, how do you live with yourself? It's like that kind of idea, right? And, whenever I've been offered opportunity to show mercy and I haven't, afterwards I'm like, oh my gosh, that wasn't a proud moment of mine.
Right.
And I think you do feel that conviction because you know that who do I think I am that I didn't show mercy to this person when literally right now God is showing me mercy.
Yeah.
I again, just to protect against the implication for those thinking I have to be a doormat to everyone as a result of this, like, there's wisdom that's called for, right? These aren't black and white rules. The question is, God, what does it mean for me to be merciful in this situation?
Yes.
Right? It's not the same for everyone, right? Nope. So, I always think back when there was this mass shooting in Amish country in Pennsylvania, and a bunch of the Amish folk were like, we forgive the killer. That doesn't mean that everybody has to do that exact thing from now on that's a victim of that kind of crime. But it does mean you're supposed to ask God, what is my responsibility here?
Right.
Right. What does it mean for me to be a citizen of the kingdom in this way, at this time, in this particular circumstance?
Right.
I know I'm going to have to show mercy, but I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need you to show me what that is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There is a very real sense in which showing mercy can also be pursuing justice.
Yeah.
at the same time.
I mean, Bonhoeffer is, he's famous for a couple of things, but one of them is being involved in a plot to assassinate Hitler.
Right.
Right. So it's not like he was saying like, walk all over me. Right.
Right.
He was doing something. He didn't even think that was a good thing. Well, I can go into that some other
Sure.
time. But yeah, I mean, his whole point was you got to follow Christ in these
Right.
things. What is Christ asking me to do? What is the command of Christ in this? And if you do that, you will show mercy. You will exhibit all these blessings and the Beatitudes in the way that it befits the circumstance.
Yeah.
And I also feel like the doormat thing, it's interesting because I think when you're reading the Beatitudes, it kind of might feel like, okay, so I just have to let everyone be, like, I just have to be super meek, super quiet, super submissive. Everyone can do whatever they want to me, and I just have to be okay with it. However, I think that when you're displaying mercy or any of the characteristics that are mentioned in the Beatitudes, you have to make an active choice. Like, you do have control in that situation to be like, I cannot show you mercy if I don't want to. However, I'm making the active choice of showing you mercy. And so there is this aspect of you're still kind of like in control. I mean, as in control as we can be. And kind of like with that in mind, it's like, I guess maybe you're not like a doormat because you're kind of just thinking like, I could choose something else, but I'm choosing this. And it's not being forced upon me to be merciful. I'm choosing to do this for someone else.
Totally. Yeah, I think the piece that stands out to me from what you were just saying, Justin, is like that in all things we're like following Christ in this. And so like, yeah, these aren't, as you said, hard and fast rules. And they aren't even like fleshed out examples.
Yeah.
Like, right? There's not if this, then this.
Yep.
Right? So Jesus is the example, like all of the Beatitudes, the poor in spirit, the merciful, the meek, the mourning, like this is who Jesus was.
Yeah.
And so our call is to like emulate Jesus in our own lives. And so then our orientation is not towards mercy as an abstract concept.
Yes.
Our orientation is
Yes.
towards Christ.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's definitely right. I mean, that's what Jesus did, right? He was like, all this stuff I'm doing, I'm not just making this up. I'm doing what my Father's telling me to do.
Right.
Right. I'm not winging it. I'm not applying a calculus.
Yeah.
The Father's like, hey, you should probably raise Lazarus. Okay. Sorry, I don't want to get into the speculative area of how the Trinity talks to each other, but
I mean,
hey, what's up? You should go heal Lazarus.
that would be cool.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So following Jesus in all of the things, in our attitudes, in our actions, in our figuring out what it looks like to be faithful in any given relationship or situation, ask Jesus.
Right. And I think also, like, just practically as well, I think, like, unfortunately, as humans, we do go through a lot of things and people do hurt us. And sometimes it's not like you're just going to make the decision to be, I'm just going to be merciful to this person who caused me immense pain. Sometimes you do have to, like, work on that. And I just want to, like, mention that, just praying to God to be like, God, help me to be merciful to someone. Like, what they did to me. And help me to be merciful to them. And maybe that'll take a week, an hour, maybe that'll take 20 years.
It might happen in the next life.
Right.
You could be like, God, at the end of all things,
right,
when all is said and done, when the new heavens and new earth have come, then I want you to help me, forgive this person. I don't think I can do it now, but I know that you can help me do that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Very cool. Yeah, so blessed are the merciful, the people who show love, the people who forgive when it's hard, the people who are oriented to the way of Christ. Blessed are they, for God has given them so much. God has shown mercy.
Preach.
It's just what God's all about.
It's kind of his thing.
Cool. Yes, very much so.
Even when people don't like it and they don't agree with it, if it's what God has called us to, then
Then we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much, folks. And thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Trinity Talks. I hope that in whatever situations you need to show mercy, whether they're in the small things or the really big things, that you can find the way of Jesus in that, and continue listening for God's voice, calling us to show love and calling us beloved in the midst of that. And we'll see you again next week.